Hello viewers, and welcome to your show, my show, our show, the Digging Deep Show. Thank you ever so much for tuning into the program. We are right here in Zimbabwe, and we have been blessed to meet Dr. Lucia Gunguwo, popularly known as Mai Gunguwo. She opened her doors to say, come in, let's discuss. There have been some controversies of her message to the people. Who is the real Mai Gunguwo? There have been another Mai Gunguwo seen on YouTube and other social networks. And today we are discussing with the real Mai Lucia Gunguwo, the award winner, the pastor, the counselor. So can you kindly call a friend to tell a friend that Mai Gunguwo is on the Digging Deep Show today? Many people, they know Mai Gunguwo from Mai Gunguwo Ministries, mainly on WhatsApp and social media. This message yaka spread as a ganyanya. Okay. But today we are here, we want to know Mai Gunguwo. Apart from what we know, who is Mai Gunguwo?
Can I kindly say, it all started, like you said, with a message that was spread on WhatsApp, social media.
Very viral.
It went viral. But I would really want to clarify how it started. Because so many people are confused about it.
Yes.
I was invited to speak to a conference in Mai. And what happened is I was supposed to have cancelled a woman who was having bedroom issues. But because she was a pastor's wife, I thought it was not wise for me to cancel her. The issues that were to be discussed were too deep. Then I felt she's a fellow woman like me. So what is she going to think if she realizes her husband told me all those things? I will cancel her, but after the cancelling session, she's going to be wounded. Because there are issues that cannot be disclosed to another person from your husband. So I thought, let me just speak to women at a conference. I will speak to everyone else, then she will pick up the issues as we are discussing. So that's what I did. That's why on that particular video, I spoke in that manner. I really knew I was going to speak to women, and I was targeting bedroom issues. But the mistake that I did was, I told them not to record the same one. So, you know, some of these people who have smartphones, they were so curious to know why they should not record. They recorded the message. So the first thing that went out there, because people say, because of the thickness of my voice, and people who just hear the message, they say it's a man, it's not a woman. And then they say she was addressing a church congregation where there were women, men, children, and young guys and young girls in the same congregation. So this is why I'm explaining. It was not like that.
It was just a women's
thing. It was a women's thing. It was a conference for women. I actually, if people listen carefully to that message, I actually chased away the young guys, the men that were there, because I wanted to speak to women. Yes, I speak, sometimes I speak very tough things, but I also choose the congregation first. I don't just say these things in a Sunday service when everyone is in the church, as people, especially in diaspora, think.
Yes, you have heard it from the horse's mouth. That's the reason why we have visited Mai Gunguwo to know all those things. And people may ask, why marriages? Why are you focusing on this issue? Well, you are a pastor, you're supposed to be preaching the gospel of the second coming of Christ.
Exactly. I believe we are all called to different things. We are all called to different things. There are some who are just called to speak about the coming of Jesus Christ, and but I believe God chose me for marriages, because what I'm doing is not my own thing. It's actually a calling. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm coming from, and I just thought, well, while we are waiting for Christ to come, we are married. We need to have sound marriages, strong marriages. We need to be happy in our own families. We are not going to wait for Jesus to come while we are miserable. Is that so?
That's true.
You get the point?
We have to enjoy.
He is coming. He is coming soon. And who knows how soon is soon. You get the point? We need to be in families that are sound. We need to be enjoying our fellowship in a family. Enjoying our husbands, enjoying our children, enjoying our wives. We are happy, we are solid, and we are waiting for him to come.
Enjoy that marriage whilst you're waiting for Christ.
Exactly.
People may want to know, you have shared with us a piece of your background that you grew up abused. Is the anger still in, and how did it come? If it is off, can we hear it from you, ma'am?
It's so funny because people can just conclude and say what they want before even speaking to the very person.
Yes.
I really appreciate you guys coming to actually get it from me. Yeah, of course, I will not deny. I grew up a tough life. I was born in an area called Mutoko, where life was very difficult because my mother was impregnated, during the Liberation War struggle. And the man who impregnated her denied the pregnancy. So from that time, she was left alone. I was too pregnant. And from then what I'm told by my relatives and what my mother confesses as well later, it's she tried 5 times to abort the pregnancy. You know what it is in Africa, in our culture, where if you have a child without anyone to claim the pregnancy, the shame that you go through. So she tried 5 times to abort, but it was not possible, which is why I'm still here. Thank God for that. And so she gave birth to me in a bush and left me in that bush to die. And then I was picked with people who were gathering firewood, and they could tell from my resemblance who my mother was. Took me back to the community where they thought I belonged. Unfortunately, the community that was supposed to look after me, the people that were supposed to be there for me in such a time, they are the ones then who even later abused me. Because my mother's brother, he passed on, he's late now, is the one who abused me sexually. I was not abused by someone, a stranger or someone. Yeah, I was abused by a relative, my mother's brother, the last born in a family. And each time he would do that, he would be having there would be a knife by his side, and then he would tell me, if ever you cry or you say to anyone or you tell anyone, I'm going to kill you. So I kept quiet, until I was, I think, form 2. Then I thought, well, I'm already dead. Why should I fear his knife? I'm already dead.
Break the silence.
Yes. But when I did that first time, I told my relatives, Wanambuya and the people were there now.
How did they receive it?
I mean, this is a guy who was putting bread on the table for everyone. So it was difficult. By me sharing to them, it became another challenge as well, because they chose bread over me. They could not say this is what this guy is doing. They could not accept it, though they knew it was true. But they were not bold enough to confront it, because then they knew there was not going to be food on the table. So I became a voice, but my voice was too small. No one could hear my voice. So it had to take another, opportunity again to be that bigger voice. This is now when I was married.
And in your marriage, how did you manage to break the silence? Because people, they say when you're married, those are things that you take to the grave, you don't share with other people.
I think people differ. Some people see it that way, but I don't see it that way. I am the kind of person who was very open. I opened up to my husband and told him everything before we even got married.
And how did he took it the day you broke the news to him?
If I've ever seen a man who is patient, a man who is kind, a man who is loving, it's my husband. Because when I shared all those things, still he accepted me as I was, which is why I'm still Mai Gunguwo right now. Some other guys would have said, no, I can't take that.
You know about this. This is not the time for the thing which I want.
But yeah, he accepted me as I was, and it was even worse, because it's not just the abuse, but I'm coming from a background where I never saw my father, I never called anyone. My lips up to now, I've never called anyone auntie, who is my real auntie. So there was no one who prepared me for marriage. There's no one who taught me anything. So I was abused, and at the same time didn't know even anything. Didn't know what to do, didn't know what submission is, what is it that what are my responsibilities as a married woman, and I would do things my own way, which was very challenging, because where I was coming from, because the father is not there, the father figure is not there. I used to fight for myself. I used to, anything that would come my way, I was the one who would solve everything. I protected myself, defended myself. So even when I got married to this man, then sometimes
you still wanted to be there.
Yeah. I remember first days I would, wake up and get dressed, and then I would just tell him I'm going into town. And he would like, but you never told me yesterday that you were going. I said, do I need to tell you a day before that I'm going to town? I just see the, the need to do so. So I used to I had too much freedom and do anything, anytime. So it was worse, but still my husband accommodated me and he taught me many of the things.
Fast forward to 2015 now, we are seeing a Mai Gunguwo whose voice is being heard internationally. But people, they say no force can abolish the melody of memory. How did you manage to delete that history then to press forward to the Mai Gunguwo whom we know, who is also empowering other women?
Exactly. Mai Gunguwo is a child of God. I received Christ as my personal savior, and I'm that kind of a person who submit under the authority of His word. And when you look at our Father in the Bible, the Father that we worship, if you read the scriptures, there is hope, there is encouragement, there is everything that you need is there in the word of God. So I would say God is my pillar. That's number one. And number two, having a loving husband by your side, someone who encourages you, and him being a pastor as well, he has encouraged me in so many ways. That alone is the strength of pillar. And then I've got a fellowship because my husband is the founding pastor of Eternal Word Ministries International. So I've got so many support systems. The church is my support system, my workmates, my children, my family. I'm not in isolation, which is one of the things that people do. They are in isolation. There's no one, they don't have any support system. So I've got so many support systems. So this is why I'm here today.
And now we have seen a lot of awards. There's this the Women's Business Awards, top female radio personality of the year 2015. And there's another one again from Zimpepa's marriage counselor for Bridal Show 2013, Dr. Kudzie Kofi. Being a doctor, being with all these titles, how are you working with the man of God who is overseeing you? Because at times, if you're coming from a lowly background and now you are up there, how do you work with submission? Because that's, in the diaspora, I would say the biggest challenges. You are having women who were probably from the low background now coming to United Kingdom. They have seen things. They're driving cars which they never dreamt of driving, and now they're thinking, "I've arrived. I don't need my husband anymore." And we are seeing you. You're talking of Apostle. We have heard him on this channel as well on an interview. How have you managed to submit having these titles, and you are on the limelight, and the Apostle sounds to be concentrating just on the ministry? How have you managed to submit, Amai?
Let me say, the father, the husband is the father. And when you look at the meanings of, different meanings of the word father, father means the genesis. Father means the founder. Father means the source. Father means the creator. So there is no family or there is no marriage when there is no father. And we might have lots of monies, we might have all this, fame and everything, but when I'm just alone, I'm not a family. When I'm just alone, there is no marriage. And for there to be a marriage, I need this father figure, I need this creator, I need this genesis, this source, this origin. So once you detach yourself from the origin, from the source, from the foundation, from the creator, you are nothing.
Don't detach yourself from the source.
Don't detach yourself for whatever reason. Stay connected. Even if you have got lots of money, enjoy the money together. It's yours together. It's not just you. Because I always say to women, I've seen women who are very prosperous, who have lots of money and everything. But I ask them, can you take your money to bed? Can your money be your husband? You can't even if you take £100,000 and put them on your bed and cover them with your blanket, they can never be your husband. So these men cannot be substituted by anything.
You probably enlighten us with some tips of good marriages.
Okay. I would say keep the house clean, keep the children clean, cook for him, wash for him, but be wild in the bedroom.
Keep keep the house clean, keep the children clean, cook for him, look after him, but be wild in the bedroom. I hope my wife is hearing this. People have been asking who is the real Mai Gunguwo. There's another counterfeit Mai Gunguwo which you've seen of late. Can you tell us what has been happening? Is it something which you know of, or is something that you are not aware of? We have seen another Mai Gunguwo again.
There are people who just came and told me, do you know there's another Mai Gunguwo? I said, what do you mean? Because the Gunguwos were mainly, and they're like, no, there's someone who's claiming to be you, and there's a video clip on YouTube where she talks about different stuff, and they're like, so when I also went and Googled and listened to and watched the small clip, and I was like, okay, fine, that's her. She's actually called Mai Chitawuro. I don't know why she chose to use Mai Gunguwo. So I just left it like that. But I'm happy that she didn't take my husband, because sometimes you can just claim you're Mai Gunguwo and as long as you don't take my husband.
I trust also like he's a man whom I trust. He won't go that far.
Yeah. So actually one day when we decided to make it a police case, and then one policeman said to me, I've heard so many people who want to imposter musicians, but I've never heard a person who want to imposter a pastor or a preacher. Then he said to me, you know what, don't worry, that speaks in volume. He said, if someone is really dying to be you, don't bother yourself about themselves. About them.
If someone is trying to pull you down, it means you are up.
Yeah.
So you relax.
So from that time I relaxed. I said, okay, fine.
The yearly conference which you host, can we have any insight?
Jerusalem. It's a name that came out from people when listening from the audio thing that I did. Then people were like, can you do a conference called Vacancy in Jerusalem, or do you want to come? Because in the audio I was addressing issues to do with women of Jerusalem who are easy. They think I've won a lottery, so why should I bother myself anymore? But it's not like that, you know what I mean? So we do a conference yearly where we gather as women and different single mothers, those who are divorced, married women, any kind of a woman. They are all invited, they are all welcome. So we do that conference yearly in November, and we've been doing it for years now. And the target is to speak to a woman and say, you are a married woman. What are the things that you're supposed to be doing? Because I realize people get into marriage without being prepared. People concentrate on the big day, the wedding day, and they make sure the flowers are there, the venue is nice, big tents, the decor is super and everything. Actually, people, if you ask them, how long do you take to plan it for a wedding day? For a wedding, they say, you need at least a year. So it's a year of them hiring the tents, the place, everything. But there is no time invested in teaching this girl what she's going to be doing after that wedding day for the rest of her life. And this is a thing that you cannot retire from. You can retire from being a financial director. You can retire from being a manager. Yeah. But this thing you are in,
it's a full-time.
Till you die. It's a full-time thing. But look at the resources, or look at the time that is invested in equipping this girl on what she's going to be doing for the rest of her time. There's nothing. So we have so many people who are in marriage now. But do they really know what they're supposed to be doing?
And are you limited to as a pastor, as a minister of religion, to the church people only? Because I have heard people saying she's addressing the church and she's going outside the demarcations. Yeah. And there are some out there who are claiming that you are probably getting into their territory. So is the ministry just supposed to be limited within the church circles?
Okay, maybe the best way to answer you is, who are those that get married? Are they people only in the church? Everyone is getting married.
Christians and non-Christians.
So the message is for everyone. Anyone who is getting into marriage, whether Christian or not, the message is for them. So I'm not boxed. I'm not limited by boundaries of a denomination, or it's not even just for my church or any other organization. It's for everyone. Mm-hmm. It's for everyone, and you'll be shocked because, like, if you go on my Facebook page, which is Mai Gunguwo, there's more than 75,000 followers, and some of them are not even Christians. I was at one point even invited by Muslims to go and teach them on marriage. So this can show you there is no limit.
Yes, yes.
There is no limit.
Mama, how do you deal with singles? Because these are fragile people. Some of them, they've been impregnated. Their husband just went away. And we have now also seen single fathers coming into joining the community. How do you deal with these people as a marriage counselor?
It's when it comes to singles, like I was saying before, we have singles that are young girls who are just impregnated, but they've never been into marriage. And then we have single mothers. It's someone who was already in a marriage, but they were divorced. So therefore, an experience of what a marriage is like, but it could not work. I've met women who come to me openly and say, you know what, if I had received these teachings that you're teaching now before I was divorced, maybe my marriage would still be intact. So there are people who take responsibility. Some of them, they will tell you openly, you know what, Mama, it was my fault. I did A, B, C, D wrong. There are some, no matter how good they were, but they were still divorced. It was not even them. It was not even their problem. So this is why when I teach people, I tell them, it's not about doing everything perfect. It's about playing your part, because it takes two to tango. A marriage is about two people. And what we are saying is, whether you're the man, do your part. Whether you do your part. If someone will divorce you, you have been doing your part, you have been this kind of woman who is there for your husband and everything. Tinoti akusukurambwa, but murume ndiye atorasikirwa. Because we've got so many men, at the end, then they regret and say, you know what, I wish I had never divorced this woman. So divorce ini pakasia. You get the point? I don't know if you're getting it. It's not about what. It's not about you get the point? Because even when that person is perfect,
He's doing good.
He's doing good. Saka, the message that was sent out there by those who came before us was, if ever you are divorced, it means you failed. So I
There's something which you're doing wrong.
There's something that you're doing wrong.
You are not submissive.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking after what you want.
You see, that's what people say. Yes, we cannot deny there are other people who were not submissive, they were doing this wrong and that wrong. But there are also some people who were divorced, but they were doing everything perfect. But because still, you find the bus. Exactly.
Now you are an international speaker. You've been to America and other countries. Especially in America, marriage has been redefined, as well as in the United Kingdom. Building marriages and families. How do you deal with the issue of same-sex marriage? How do you handle it? What's your take in it?
Like I said, I am a believer, and I submit under the authority of the Word of God. It's a no-no, even when it comes to the Word of God. So it's a no-no to me. It's a no-no. People are doing things because that's what they want. It doesn't mean that it becomes right. If you do a wrong thing for a long time, you think it's now right. That's not it.
Mama, before we close the show, your last question to the viewers.
We all start with a family and end with a family. Because it starts when you are born, and the people that are around you, they are your family. Come to the day when you die, your family will be there as well. It all depends on what you did from the day you are born to the day you die. If your family will have mercy on you, probably they'll put a suit on you. But we need to consider family is always there. Friends will go, different things will change and pass away, and they will go, but family will always be there. So let's invest our time. Let's be committed to our families. Let's be committed to our marriages, because they will never go.
Building marriages, building families. So if you are there, you were thinking otherwise, get in touch with her. She will give you the right advice, and I'm sure by the end of the conversation, you will make up your mind to do the right thing. Mama, I know I said you want to close, but many people who might want to know the real name of the ministry. I know we know Mai Gunguwo Ministries, which just by the name of where you are married. But we also want to know the real name of the ministry. Before it was Mai Gunguwo, and after now, what's the name of the ministry, the married ministry?
It is called Building Marriage and Families Organization. But because people, the popular name that went out there is Mai Gunguwo. Mai Gunguwo became a brand. But it's Building Marriage and Families Organization.
So if you're having a seminar, if you're having a conference, if you're having an event, and you want a speaker to come, she's available to come and minister not only to women, not only to ladies, but also to men. If you're having couple seminars, you want her to come, kindly get in touch with her. If she's not available, she can send you a video for you to share with people right there whether you're in UK or abroad. Mama, what more shall I say apart from saying thank you for opening the doors for us as the Digging Deep Show? We feel so honored. God bless you, Amai.
Thank you so much for coming.
What more shall I say apart from saying thank you so much for giving us your precious possession, which is your time. Time permitting, God willing, we will meet again next week. Same time, same channel. For me and the rest of the team on the Digging Deep Show, we are signing out. Till we meet again. I love you all. Kudzie is my name. God bless you.